Hi guys, welcome to my channel. We are discussing something so special today. I have noticed even though there are like different cultures, traditions, we as women face probably the same kind of challenges in a corner of India to Africa and to Europe and to US. So let's get started. So this week's topic is about restoring uprooted autonomy. So let's start with what autonomy means. I want to really talk to you and explain these topics which can help you relate with the experience that you're having and also start having these conversations with others. The most of the labels and identities for women is restrictive, oppressive, and controlling in some ways. I want to discuss every week about some labels and identities, some phenomenon that happens in our communities, so that you can next time in those spaces can identify and have tools to deal with it in our lives. So let's talk about these complex phenomenon or patterns that happens in our societies. The first one, which I call it as pyramid scheme of controlling women or oppression. So what happens in this phenomenon that we have seen is your grandmother or the oldest family member who is a woman kind of dictates the same path that she has been on to her daughter-in-law or her daughter. And then this gets passed on to generations and generations. In this scheme, nobody actually questions and nobody is having critical thinking, and also nobody have choices. So when we talk about autonomy in women's right, autonomy actually women having the choice and the last say in the decisions that she makes, which affects her physical, emotional, spiritual, or mental wellness, and to take complete responsibility on whatever she chooses or whatever decision she takes. So what happens when we are stripped away from autonomy is, which is a phenomenon that you can see everywhere that's happening, a woman feels like she doesn't have a choice, and when she's given that power to someone else, they misused it, and then she's stuck on this path without any support. This is not a very nice position to be in, because in spirituality and when women are finding their own path, they usually want to make the choices, take the decisions, and also take responsibility for the challenges that come attached to those choices that she has made from her own idea of how she wants to live her life. And woman is completely opposite of her. She wants to be free in her mind, free in her body, free in the choices that she is making, and she wants to take this radical self-responsibility for the dreams that she is visioning, and she is walking this path. So, second label that I want to discuss today, the phenomenon that we are discussing, is echo chamber. What do we mean by echo chamber? Echo chamber is something that if you're born into a woman, if you're born into a family, and there are certain traditions and cultures set up in that family, and women often in that setup kind of keep bouncing off the same ideas to each other like parallelly, and also to their daughters. So what happens is, when you're in these situations, there are no new ideas, there are no new path, new solutions for the problems that exist. This kind of again creates this restriction, this mold that everybody has created, and often in these situations you see that nobody is happy and nobody is supporting each other. Almost like everybody is burdening each other with these ideas that has been brought down from probably another gender in their family, but nobody questions it. So these echo chambers, now we can see these echo chambers spoken about even in social media, where you know that you have been thinking certain way, and then you find people who are thinking this certain way, and then just these ideas keeps bouncing off. So you have this sense of comfort, almost a false comfort, because you are actually in this regressive ideologies and traditions, but you're not aware of it. So it's so important for us to venture out of these echo chambers and try to speak and have conversations with the different kind of women on a different paths, which is so important. Very important for us to get back the autonomy. So when I say autonomy is, again, like choices, everyday choices, every day waking up at the time that you want, doing the things that are helpful for your wellness. It could be mental, physical, emotional, and taking decisions and not adhering to this burden of responsibilities that you haven't said yes to. It came with the labels and identities. For example, some of the traditional wives, or in some cultures, are supposed to be cooking, supposed to be taking care of the elders, supposed to be almost like a superwoman in the family setting, and then she's solving all the problems. So then moving from wife to partner, maybe associating yourself as a partner and not wife. That's what we have implemented in our life, that is starting to move away from these labels. And we practice practical tools that we can discuss to get this autonomy back, and seeing it in real life, how that feels. And it's a practice again. We are discussing about feminism, when we are discussing about women's rights, we often look towards the people who have taken away the power to give us back the power, to give us back to give us back what's ours and what we deserve. And probably what you need is sitting quietly, taking the resources, using the time, creating these toolboxes, and coming into our own power, and then standing from that place, grounded, rooted, and believing in the truths that you want, and asking for what you deserve is what we need right now. But you and I are going to change it. That's why I'm here. So the first step is what I call worst case scenario. So often I feel that I have experienced women are not given even the options, the choices of the path. If we start giving the options, okay, let's say for example, women are not given choices about their marriages, whether it's a love marriage or arranged marriage. If we had the conversations about, okay, if you actually get married on your own, these are the challenges that you will go through. And if you get married in arranged marriages, these are both have pros and cons, both have different kind of challenges. So if these are presented to us with a logical, a practical language, and put those challenges in front of you, each woman can actually choose according to what her skills are and how she's led her life, what could be more suitable for her. So worst case scenarios is when you're confused, when you're not confused, when you have like these big life decisions that you are taking, which women around you haven't taken. This is the first time. I would want you to picture what could the worst happen, the worst challenge that you could face, and just assessing whether you are equipped with the tools that you want to go through that challenge. And more than 90% of the time you would be, and to choose that path which you would like and which nobody has done it, but you're okay to face that challenge. And in life we can never predict these things, isn't it? What worst case we could think, it could be much like a smaller, or it could be much worse. But then always trying to go through this worst case scenario, then I can, like, I think I'll be still happy with that worst case scenario, but I can still have the tools, resources, and time to go through that challenge. Then you would say yes to something which nobody has told yes to, or it's something a different path, and then I can guarantee you that it's going to work out like really, really well. This is something that we're just doing so that we can start practicing and saying yes to the things that are more challenging or a less traveled path, right? And then the second practice, what I call is flipping the table. So flipping the table means that when we actually try to take any independent choices, independent path, we often have this voice, or from even people, that what will other people think about me, or what does society talk about me when I take this decision. But what I want you to do from now on is, what would you think about yourself? Because that's all matters in life. All the choices, all the life decisions, the path that you're walking on should be approved by yourself, and it should create some self of being proud to take this decision, not someone else. Because guess what? Nobody knows the challenges, the environment you were in, the experience that you've had, other than yourself. So I often feel like, let's say that a lot of people have this habit of lying to others. It could be disguised in so many things, like, oh, I don't want to hurt them, or I don't want to create more like drama, so I would just choose to lie. A single white lie, they call it. But imagine when you decide for yourself that you're never going to lie, and you're proud of yourself to making that choice, right? It's as simple as these things might feel like it applies to a larger than life choices and experiences, but it's as small as this. Are you going to be proud because you chose this instead of that? Are you going to be proud of the way that you have dressed today? Are you going to feel comfortable? Do you want to change something, the way that you dress? Or are you going to be proud of yourself, the way you speak, the way you're laughing? Is it going to bring you more joy? So always flipping the table. So flipping from other people, people pleasing, and listening to other voices in the society, turning it towards yourself. Then you build this vast belief system, internal moral compass that you can always come back to, and then the autonomy is restored and you listen to yourself more. The intuition is going to grow. It's going to grow louder, and the signals that you're going to get from the body is going to be very clear. You'll have a profound amount of clarity. So this actually brings us to third practice that you can do. It's connecting with our body, mind, and soul. And you know how yoga has been such a focal point for me in this journey, being a woman, being in this modern world and trying to revive myself. I would highly encourage yoga, but if not, any physical exercise or mental wellness for meditation. So what happens when we are reconnecting with our body, mind, as I was speaking, is bodies are always giving you signals, micro signals, big signals. When you're hungry, you know when it needs nourishment, you're hungry. When it has like too many emotions that body is not able to hold, you cry and you feel amazing. So we know these universal like signs, which everybody has, but we have something for emotional and psychological, like micro signals, signs that are coming in. When you really want to say no and then you say yes, you feel a little bit tightness in your heart space, or you get kind of like knot in your stomach. It could be different for different people in different situations, but what happens when we actually embrace our body, embrace our mind, because we are so disconnected, this helps all the other people. When you're disconnected, they're going to confuse you with the options, and they're going to make you believe that you get disconnected from your own intuition. So we don't want to do that, right? We want to be always from inside out. The experiences, the decisions, always from inside out is gonna give you the power back, is gonna make your intuition stronger. It's gonna create more and more awareness of how you feel in your body. If your shoulders are gonna get hunched when you're in a conversations which are not going your way, or someone is actually reaffirming your limited belief, and you feel like, oh, this is too much, then relax. And then there are so many different micro signals that body gives you in these situations, not only in physical aspects. So reconnecting with the body, with the worst case scenario works for really big life-changing decisions that you take, that it's different from the women that have taken around you. The second one, actually flipping the table, can do for smaller habits that you have, belief system that you want to change, you want to transform your inner world. And then the third one, reconnecting with the body and then intuition, works really well when more subtle energies are involved and you want to day-to-day become more, embody yourself more and get familiar with your own self and explore femininity and embodying feminine energy, connection with the divine, the endless benefits of these three practices. I want you to take these videos as a just a guide, or someone sharing a different perspective that you have seen again and again from your circle. And this is something that a lot of privileged women and daughters would have had from their own family. We know that it's a little different for us, so we are here for each other. It's okay. I want to call this as a sisterly talk, sisterly exchange all these stories and wisdom to each other. It's a two-way relationship we're having here. So welcome to my channel, and I hope you enjoy all the other videos, and comment below if you like this video and this style of video, and if you want to see something more, you're free to comment also. So see you soon in the next week.